Theos the War Phoenix, seen as a guardian amongst the people. He was the first known Phoenix magic user at the time of Arcane Adventures. His role as a major protagonist guiding the main character through trials and through age eventually caught up to him. Born in year 867 in a well-guarded city called Eberron, having many friends and family ever since it was built in year 563. At an early age, he enrolled at a magic academy, being a young prodigy at wielding fire magic, so much so that he quickly surpassed his teachers before graduating at age 25. At the age, he learned how to open his second and third minds, but although he did open those minds, he refused to learn new magic and instead chose to excel in fire magic. For 3 years after graduation, Theos lived with his wife and child crush Ashlyn before she caught a disease and died. In year 895, after she died, he never saw their relationship again after that, and he took her death very hard, believing that it was his fault that she passed. He soon recovered from this depression and learned that he could control Phoenix magic. He eventually mutated his magic from the strength of his feeling alone, gaining the power of healing flames. In year 1046, 151 years after he learned Phoenix magic, Theos watched over his city and family, making sure that they are safe, and eventually developed sun magic due to his massive knowledge of fire magic. Eventually, the governor of Eberron offered Theos command of the city's forces many times, although each time declining because he did not like to be the center of attention. Eventually, a dark wizard which I covered before named Durza showed up. Theos felt the wizard's overwhelming power and knew his ill intentions. Theos went to the front of Eberron and sat at the entrance of the main gate. When Durza arrived, he knew Durza was going to try and absorb his magic, but he couldn't understand how. Resisting easily due to the power difference, the fight between the two started and lasted a day. Both eventually became exhausted, and at this point, Theos did not have full mastery over his two magics, and Durza being only just absorbed the magics that he used, has no control over the magics. Durza eventually retreated and Theos looked behind him, realizing that his friends had been watching the entire fight, eventually bursting with cheers. Theos, however, did not deem this as a victory, but a gruesome defeat. 5 years later, in year 1051, Theos relentlessly trained and studied magic. He knew Durza would return eventually, return very stronger, but he did not know when. One day, Durza did appear with an army of undead wizards. Theos obliterated all of them with ease, with little help from Eberron's military. But Durza was not amongst them, so Theos left Eberron and headed north towards where the forces came from. Eventually the two found each other again, commencing a fight that lasted 2 entire days. Each forest and village in the way of the fight was destroyed. The two fought eventually. Durza got desperate and combined each and every one of his magics into the remaining strength. He attacked missed and hit him out far behind Theos. Both wizards were sent flying thousands of miles away. In year 1052, after a year of floating on unmelting ice, heating the salt water to make it drinkable, and catching fish with his magic, he reached land, but nothing was there, except for a few scattered skeletons and burning trees. The truth hit him hard, after realizing that the fight resulted in 80% of the population and half the world was destroyed. This made Theos fall into a deep depression, realizing that all of his friends and family are dead. In year 1500, not much is known about how humanity recovered from being annihilated, but eventually they did, and nearly every island was civilized now, and now boats were the main method of transportation in daily life. Theos has spent 500 years training his skill in magic. Furthermore, all while sailing aimlessly across the sea on a raft he was built, still having thoughts about self-doubt and questioning why he could not stop Durza from launching the magic blast that demolished civilization. In Arcane Adventures, Theos searches the sea endlessly for Durza, and he gained a large following. Theos is vaguely aware of the Arcane government, but he does not care for them and think of them as irrelevant. Sometime during his time alone, he has crafted powerful armor and a weapon by himself, and charmed them most powerfully. Theos nearly his magic prolonged life, and he still not accomplished his own goal, to defeat Durza so that he can rest in peace knowing Eberron and his city is safe and avenged. And the rest is history. You want me to make a video about the Peacekeeper, explaining their journey throughout Arcane Adventures lore? Then tell me, although I might make it sooner either way. Thanks for watching, peace.